Hello everybody, welcome back to Enter the Gungeon with me, Flick. This episode is dedicated to Jarek. Thank you very much for your continued support on Patreon. And as we discussed last time, it is going to be a Inside Baseball episode, and the subject this time around is all things brand. But mostly, I think I'm going to spend most of this time talking about why giving a shit about brand is not inherently bad. Because it kind of means something different when you're just a person or a couple of people on YouTube or Twitch, as opposed to being the company that makes Pepsi or something, you know? But yeah, when you think about a big brand, it can often create the image of being soulless. Like, you're not human anymore, you're a brand, you're a thing, you sold out. That is, in my opinion anyway, the impression people can get if you talk about branding and actually care about it. And to a certain extent that is true. If you're talking about the brand of a massive company that employs millions of people worldwide and is known worldwide, it is faceless at that point. It is. It's not necessarily selling out either, but it's no longer just a person or a small group of people. So they care, and perhaps you could argue overly care, about how their brand is perceived. I spoke about this in an Isaac episode during a stream because I didn't have enough to say about it in regards to an Inside Baseball episode, but YouTube came under fire from advertisers leaving the platform because a newspaper did a hit piece pointing out that people were uploading racist and like homophobic and extremist videos on YouTube, and they were still able to monetize them because the monetization system is largely automated. So is Content ID, etc., which we spoke about in the past. So brands thought, oh shit, we can't have our brand seen alongside racist or terrorist content. We're going to boycott YouTube. So then YouTube had to go and take steps to avoid that happening again, but that's not what we're talking about. The point is, brands, when it's big brands, they tend to massively overcorrect at the slightest provocation. And that, combined with the internet being it's all the rage on the internet to rage about nothing. Or rage about something which doesn't warrant a level of rage the internet is able to garner. Everything is blown out of proportion on the internet. And I include when I talk about, like, if I complain about something to do with gaming on Twitter, it's, relatively speaking, also being blown out of proportion, because it's just, you talk in extremes on the internet. And sadly, brands haven't really learned that yet, so they worry if 100 people on Twitter tweet at an official account of, I don't know, a furniture store. Let's just pick something random and say, hey, I didn't like this thing you did. They automatically assume those 100 people on Twitter are sharing the sentiment of all their customers, or not all of them, but a proportion large enough that they could suffer, or sorry, their sales could suffer, their brand could suffer, and then they have to backpedal and change something. And it's going to lead to all the uniqueness of brands disappearing, in my opinion, because they're going to be too scared to do anything. When I was thinking about doing this topic, I know it's not directly related to YouTube or Twitch, but I was reminded of, I think it was Gap last year. They did a new, it was like, I think it was an autumn range of kids clothing. And all of a sudden, after they did that, people were shouting at them, wow, how could you be so racist? How could you think it was acceptable to do this racist advertising? I'm never buying your products again. In other words, their brand was suffering. It was like, what did they do? What did they do that was so racist? And what they did was they had this new line of kids clothing, and the models they got to wear the clothing for the pictures, there was a little girl who was resting her elbow on the head of another little girl, and it just so happens one of them was white and one of them was black. And for some reason people thought this meant it was racist, which it isn't, and you should probably look up the definition of racism sometime if you thought that. That is not racism. Also, ironically, in that particular situation, the two girls in question were mixed race siblings. And they were being genuinely pally around because they're related. So it was even more stupid that the internet cried racism at something which, one, wasn't racist, and two, should have just been a normal advertising thing. Anything can be racist if you want it to be, it turns out. But the sad thing about that is, I think it was Gap, I might be saying the wrong company, but whoever it was, they had to, like, apply the brake and say, oh wow, the internet thinks that this is racist. We know that it's not. It's logical to assume that it's not, but the internet is dumb. And they're going to hurt our brand by calling us racist. So what are we going to do about that? And what they did about that was they pulled the advertising campaign. I don't think they should have. I think they should have stood their ground. But the problem when you're worrying about your brand, and this is the bit that does link into YouTube and Twitter, Twitch rather, is that sadly you sometimes have to capitulate even if you don't want to. I think another example is back when Notch was still part of Mojang and they still owned Minecraft. He has some weird opinions, let me just say flat out. He's a shitposter for the most part, and that's quite funny to me. But back when he was still part of Minecraft, it always bugged me that he would have these statements on Twitter, and even if I didn't agree with them, it always bugged me that anytime he met any resistance, he backed down. And I always thought at the time that it was because he was spineless. But now that I see that he still shitposts even though he's not part of that anymore, I think what he was doing is that he was worried about the brand. Minecraft is generally seen as a kid's brand, lots of children play it, and I don't think he wanted to have what he was saying associated with that kind of thing. So he would always capitulate, and he would always apologise and then disappear for a while. Now that he has no part of it, he doesn't give a shit, which is actually quite funny. Even, again, I don't agree with most of the things he says, but I like that he has the balls to say it now. But that's an example of, I think he was putting his brand first, the game he had created that he knew was played by lots of children, ahead of his own individual feelings, and he made the right call, if that's why he did it. Sometimes you've got to swallow your pride, I guess, although it's not necessarily pride in this case. That's the closest... Ooh, I jumped the wrong way. That's the closest saying I could think of that applies. Let me finish killing this bird before I move on to how that connects to branding on YouTube, because this is not doing a lot of damage. Oh, also I've been forgetting to use my Molotov. Take that! So yeah, so connect it back to YouTube. Sometimes you've got to hold your tongue. Sometimes you've got to not say things that you think are funny and you mean them... Oh, we get plus 2 HP. You mean them light-hearted, but if there's a chance enough people will think that you're a big horrible racist or you're being insensitive, you sometimes just got to watch yourself and not say it, even if you don't personally care about the reaction. And I'm not saying that I'm a closet racist, incidentally. I'm saying that you can make off-colour jokes. You can make macabre jokes and not sincerely mean it in terms of some kind of hate. But because this is the internet and we're dealing with the internet, there is a certain extent to which you have to worry about your brand. Like every so often I'll catch myself saying a joke that's funny at the time. People who are in the call with me will laugh. I'll laugh, I'll enjoy it. But then I'll think afterwards and think to myself, I maybe shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have. It's a shame that it... Oh, the bottle. Heart container. So it does collect hearts. Can hold hearts or ammo. Okay, we'll try and use this instead of the Molotov, I guess, just because. Just because it's new. So I'm focusing probably too much on the unfortunate side of worrying about a brand. I'm trying to sell it as a thing you shouldn't feel is a bad thing, and I've focused on the negative, which is probably a mistake. But I had to get that out of the way, is that if you worry about a brand, sometimes you just have to do things or not necessarily act a little bit differently because you have your brand interests in mind rather than your personal ones. And it does apply to the YouTube side. Like, I would love to point out how stupid some of my commenters are. I would love to do it because they say such ridiculously dumb things, but I just... Well, one, I don't really have the time. And two, there's no net gain for me. Or there's no net gain as the content creator. People will think you're an asshole for pointing out someone being dumb. Which is a shame. But in general, a brand is important because brand identity means it's how people find you. It's the difference between someone randomly stumbling across a video and just happening to watch it and specifically looking for yours. And the best example of that I can give is if you use the YouTube Creator app. I think it's on Android and iOS. It gives you access to like your YouTube dashboard when you're not at a PC. So from that you can check like new comments, you can check how your videos are doing, and you can actually also check your analytics. And within your you can do this at a PC as well, but I like just talking about the fact you can do it away from home, because isn't that a neat little feature? You can check your analytics and discover what search terms have brought people to your videos. It's within the... what do they call it? Actually, rather than guess, I'm going to open up the app on my phone and I'm going to tell you, because I want to be exact. If you go to Analytics, go to Discovery tab, and it'll say like Browse Features and etc. Top external sources will almost certainly always be Google search at the top. But you can also go down again and there's Top YouTube Search Terms. So for instance, I'm actually going to press on mine. I'm going to keep on playing, but I'll read out some. This is... let's see, where is this going? This is going from like the middle of March to the middle of April, because YouTube's the analytics are always like a little bit behind so that they're accurate. So for instance, my most searched term that got people to my videos in that range was Overwatch Genji, but that's more related to SEO. But if we go down just a couple, well, the second one is Monster Hunter Double Cross. The third is actually just my channel name. It's Flix Gaming Stuff. So that's brand. That is people specifically searching for my brand and finding me. Another one further down, actually it's not here this month, but it was back when Overwatch was really big. It might be further down the list. Hang on, I'll scroll down after this is dead. Nope, no, never mind, hang on, there's some more enemies. I'm trying to tell people things, game. You're making it difficult. Oh, I got stuck on the corner. I thought I was safe. It's fine. All it means is you die quicker. Yep, there's a search for just my name. Although I guess that could also be people looking for the Suikoden character. Let's not be too arrogant about this. Flix Gaming Stuff Gang Beasts is in the search terms. Overwatch Flick. Flix Gaming Stuff Overwatch. Overwatch with Friends. Bloodborne New Game Plus. Alright, that's not related to me specifically. I'm not telling you these things to brag, just so that's clear. I'm showing you these things to prove to you that having a brand matters on YouTube. Not so much on Twitch, I would say, although having kind of like a recognizable name they could search for would probably apply. I'm now known for certain games, and that is both a good thing and a bad thing, but in the good thing column is that people will specifically search for my gameplay of a game. And if I didn't have a brand, it would... oh, 2 special rooms again. They wouldn't be able to do that as easily. Oh, it's Mr. Junk Person. A shrine to Junk Person who rose from nothing to become one of the Gungeon's greatest knights. I'm not sure what you do with that. Maybe you have to bring trash to him. Oh, and a gun muncher. It's also a good idea if you are starting out, even if you plan to only make YouTube a hobby, and this is something I keep on going back to. Some of these things I say in Inside Baseball episodes, they don't just apply if you're trying to do this for a living. If you're trying to do this as a hobby and you just want audience share, it's important to think about them. If from the very start you think about the brand you want to put forward, you're starting ahead of certain other people, like for instance me. When I made my YouTube channel, this is back before YouTube had a monetization policy, this is back before Google owned YouTube. I made my YouTube channel because I wanted to make Final Fantasy XI videos. So what did I do? I gave myself a stupid name that I can't get rid of now. I gave myself Flick FFXI, in other words, Flick Final Fantasy XI. And that is terrible for branding. I don't remember precisely when I switched to Flix Gaming Stuff, but that was when I can't remember if it was one of those Google Hangout things that they do ever so often. But I think it was that Google published an article like, you should actually give a shit about branding, and I was of the opinion, why? What difference does it make? Oh, there was a king room back there. We'll go back after this. And I think what triggered me making this change was no one's searching for Flick FFXI. It isn't something I can just say as a URL to people. I can't just say, hey, go to youtube.com/FlickFF11, because it doesn't work like that. There's no quick way to say it, so it's bad branding. I think the dog's barking at the post person as well. So I did not have branding in mind. It's a dumb name. It's a bad URL. Thankfully, I was also able to kind of link in Flix Gaming Stuff to it. But yeah, I've read something about branding, and that's what made me finally do the shift. I was like, well, alright, what do I do? I make gaming videos. I like using stuff as a descriptor because it's nondescript and actually annoys people, and I kind of like that it bugs people to just generally refer to something as stuff. It tickles me. So I thought, okay, Let's do that. I will provide the internet with gaming stuff. I'm a variety channel. I'm not focused around one particular game. I also didn't listen to what I have to do. Oh, the club. Goody. So that's why I rebranded the way I did. Now, that doesn't necessarily instantly mean you have a successful brand. It kind of worked the opposite way around, actually. Oh, we did it. That was very easy. Oh, the sling. Thank you. But can you imagine if Overwatch had taken off on my channel and people were trying to remember the name Flick FFXI and writing that with Overwatch? They wouldn't be able to do it. People have a hard enough time remembering how to spell my name. So that would have just made things... Is that 2 brown chests on the floor? No, we only found the one so far. I'll wait on that. We might destroy it to try and get junk in. Although I think now that he's an item I have to get it from a box, right? I don't know how that works. So when I rebranded, did I immediately see a difference? No, but that's also probably because I wasn't established. So that's why it's nice to get started early. Now if I do a game people start to know me for, it starts showing up in the search terms. That means that the branding is working. Okay. Go! God damn! That was a hell of a team attack. And if someone is searching for something, like, the more specific a search term on YouTube, the better. That's why tags are so important, but we're not going to go back over the subject of tags, because I covered that a long time ago in an Inside Baseball episode. But what I mean is, if someone is searching for Overwatch Flicks gaming stuff, or Gang Beasts Flicks gaming stuff, it's very unlikely they're going to find someone else's content, which in turn helps my content. You know what I mean? So that's why a brand is important and why you should give a shit, at least in the small term. I feel like I could look at a channel and very easily suggest just a few little things they could do to see a little difference. Just the small things that may not even necessarily make a difference in the short term. Oh, that's a jam. Why am I getting... Oh, because I picked up the Huntsman. He is really fast. I think it might be the first time I've seen a jammed one of these. I totally forgot what I was saying because that threw me off. Hang on, we'll open this first. Oh, whoomp. That's okay, I guess. We'll just open up the brown chests. I think that is the only way I can... Oh, you have to press space on a spare item to take it. I see, I get it. I understand now. Teleport. The nearest teleporter to that chest is the entrance. That's good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, about the search terms getting you. And I could look at a channel and probably suggest a few little things. Like, for instance, this isn't something I specifically suggested, but recently L actually started investing much more time in his branding. So he's actually a very good example, and I'm be very curious if he's seen a difference yet. Him being an artist, he has done lots of unique thumbnails for himself for all his different series, including his channel avatar, which is an L, which is making it stand out more. Even if people don't know him and know that his kind of online persona is an L, a thumbnail of a giant L in some kind of situation involving the game is going to stand out more than an official screenshot like the ones I use. So that's good branding, and it will help him get recognised. I was going to say recognisable, that's why I parsed that weirdly. He uses odd naming conventions, but that's more like an SEO thing, but his odd naming conventions might also make him stand out too. I don't know. But yeah, in terms of branding, him actually getting around to doing all those unique thumbnails, I think they'll be nothing but good for him. Reaper was actually also looking into rebranding as well, because Reaper is a fairly nondescript name. It's used by edgelords and little kids all over YouTube. If it's stuck with Ultimate Kira 1, that's still an edgy name that isn't that great, but it's probably not used, and it's very easy to see. You know, youtube.com/UltimateKira1. Most people know how to spell that. So that has more strength to me, and that is actually his URL, I think. Actually, no, he might not even have a custom URL yet. I keep forgetting that you have to have a certain number of... Alright, I like the sound effect. That's good. But it's interesting that they're both looking into it now, so I hope they've actually realised and that it's helpful, and also I hope they've seen a difference. If not now, in the future. Like I'm saying, if you become known for one thing, people will specifically search for you covering that thing. Now, hopefully, hopefully it'll branch off into other content as well. I won't always, sadly. I guess we'll just get rid of the M I don't really like the grenade launcher. But I don't like this either. Let's roll the dice here. Ooh, just a lovely regular shotgun all over my face, thank you. I enjoy that a lot. So if you are sitting there thinking, what should my brand be? Something that makes a nice URL. Something that is easy to say and write. And spell, again. Spelling is very, very important. Something that is easy to put on social media. Something that's easy to spread. If you have some kind of channel persona, it's good to have them in as many places as possible, because then you become recognizable. Or if you don't have a channel persona, and you don't mind having your real face on your thumbnails, you can do that. Just for the love of God, please do not do overly exaggeratory facial expressions, because they are cancer. So please don't do that. But if you don't have a channel avatar and you don't want a channel avatar, it's perfectly acceptable to use your face as part of your branding, in my opinion. Just, you know, temper it. Don't fall into those cliches we've spoken about in the past. But have that for sure. Try and include in the tags you do for videos, include your brand. And again, this isn't an ego thing. Like I think the trapping I fell into a lot with YouTube in general really is, I felt like I wasn't big enough or important enough to bother. Like, why have my name in search results? But you can't think like that. This enemy is pure hell. What I'm saying is, don't think of it as being something egotistical. It's part of advertising, more or less. So in the tags for your videos, maybe include game name plus your branding. Have, like in L's case, I don't know, Overwatch Grinning L, Overwatch Failcast, Ultimate Cure 1 Overwatch, Reaper, well actually no, Reaper Overwatch would be confusing. You know what I mean? It's not an arrogance thing. It will help, because if you find, or rather if someone finds you and they like the content you do of that game, then they might say the name to someone and then they'll search for you and they'll be specific with their search, and then if that's in your search terms, you'll get to the top of the list. Now, I don't know everything about brands, so again, please always take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just things I've done. I hope that at least proving to you that it appears in my search terms that it works. But it's kind of a late game payoff, I guess, if we can talk about it in gaming terms. You might not see a difference straight away. You're not going to see people searching specifically for you immediately, but eventually you might, and it helps. I already spoke about in the past how specific search terms and generic ones can all help. But I think getting over the stigma of caring about a brand being inherently bad, getting over it being, or coming across as potentially being egotistical, that's important. And all the other little suggestions I have. Recognizable brand. Easy to find, easy to say, easy to spell. Recognizable in as many ways as possible. That all helps. Another special room, what the hell? I was going to say we can't afford that, but we've actually got okay money. On the Twitch side, I honestly think creating a brand for yourself on Twitch is a lot harder than YouTube, because you don't have thumbnails. Like, I guess you have your banner rather on your Twitch channel. You have your username, which should definitely be part of your brand in some fashion. Hence mine being obviously twitch.tv/flixgaming stuff. Below streams you can put pictures in the little icon bits they do. And I'm meaning even if you're not a partner. It's like where people put their channel rules and whatnot. Like I've got one that's just a welcome picture of my channel avatar. I've got my emote list, that kind of thing. You can do branding down there. You can advertise your YouTube channel, Twitter, etc. All linking back into each other. Wait, did I pick up Table Tech Rage? And I've not been using it this whole time because I've been yammering about things? Yeah, I did. Whoops-a-daisy. I'd very much enjoy my shop, please. And if the shop had cigarettes in it, that would be just lovely. So yeah, on Twitch it's harder to get recognised. Creating a community on Twitch, I think, is a more important step towards actually having a brand on there than anything else, currently. But Twitch, as always, is new to me, so I don't know it as well as I know YouTube. I'm not as comfortable talking about the Twitch side yet. It's not even my 1 year anniversary of being a Twitch partner. It has been a 1 year anniversary of streaming, though. That was back in March. But yeah, I think it's harder to do that. But on the Twitch side, it might not even matter as much, because I don't think you can search for an individual's name. You can search for a game and then perhaps see them. You can obviously follow channels, but there's no like just generic search, and there's no like tag system on Twitch. So yeah, if you're only focusing on the Twitch side, it may not be as important. Goodbye, regular shotgun. I loved you. Well, there's a shop, but we can't get into it from the side. Can't I think of anything else? Usually it's floor 3 by the time I run out of things to talk about my Inside Baseball subject, but I think that might be it. One grenade is not enough to kill a Tommy gun ghost. Unacceptable. That's fine though. Branding is a tough subject, and I can't claim to be any authority on it. It's just what I've learned. I didn't care about brand at the start, and I do feel like I suffered a bit as a result. I do focus on it a little bit now. Thank you for the key. The only real negative in terms of like the small scale YouTube and Twitch side worrying about brand is the sometimes tempering what you say, not because you actually mean anything offensive, but because the internet being the way it is, someone will take offense somewhere. Like, actually, I remember what was it? Let's see. It was an Overwatch video where we did oh, it was 3 Soldier 76 and 3 Reapers. That was the theme of the highlight we were doing. And I said something in the episode. What was it I said? I think I was joking around as we were like, someone started a joke off like 76 was Reaper's disappointed dad because he was still an edgelord at his age. And I think I said something along the lines of, screw you dad, it's just a phase. I don't remember specifically what I said. But someone just... Oh, Hyperlight Drifter Gun. Someone just decided to get right up my arse about me offending them. And people on the internet, especially in YouTube comments, go out of their way to be offended about nothing. I don't remember specifically what I said, but I obviously wasn't specifically insulting someone watching my content. They chose to be offended on behalf of a fictional game character. Reaper of all people, especially. But that's the kind of situation where, oh, they went and cried about it in the comments. They may have went and cried about it on Twitter, and that affects my brand. Like, having an imposter going around stealing keys from indie devs affects my brand negatively, and that's also annoying, but that's a different kettle of fish, as they say. What are we doing here? I guess we're just fighting. Fighting and killing. There was another one, I'm trying to remember what it was as well. Oh, when I was... Well, that was abrupt. I was getting distracted by my storytelling. When I was playing Dark Souls 1, I spoke about Gwendolyn, and I used a term that can be used as an offensive... Well, not even an offensive term, just a bad term for someone who is having a sex change. And someone decided to get very, very offended on behalf of the fictional game character I happened to call something that might be construed as slightly offensive, but actually really isn't. And wow, did they have a bee in their bonnet about that. And I didn't really care. I wasn't offending anyone who was real. I wasn't even offending someone who wasn't real. But they chose to just make it their personal vendetta to get right up my ass about it. And the only reason I even gave it any of my time was because it might negatively affect my brand. Normally I would just ignore them. But I actually went out of my way to explain calmly, rationally, hey, I said something in the spur of the moment about a fictional game character. It wasn't a particularly offensive word. It was an observation about a character who was male but raised to be female because they wanted a daughter. It was not meant in any form of offence. It was nothing to get worked up about. I said that. I said it calmly. I was ignored. As I say, they were just looking for an excuse to bitch. It's like people also just look for an excuse to complain if they don't like someone or dislike something someone has said. They will find a reason to hate you, and they will find a reason to try and run you into the ground. What was I going to do with my money if I wasn't spending it there? Oh yeah, up there. I remembered. So that's two examples that came off the top of the head that I've remembered, where normally I wouldn't give a shit. Oh wow, that is way too expensive. In those situations, people can choose to be offended about whatever they like. It makes no difference to me. But because you have an online presence and an online presence matters, I felt like in those cases I had to actually kind of sit this person. It wasn't the same person in both examples. I just realised I may be making it sound like that. Sit these people down and say, hey, you know, you're allowed to be offended about anything you like, but don't expect me to pander to your offence when no offence was meant. I tried, and that's the stance I will continue to take. If someone takes offence at something I say that was not meant as offensive, I will very politely say, that is not how it was implied. You can be offended if you want, but that's not what I meant. That's all you can do, really. I try and be diplomatic when I talk to fools. But sometimes it just doesn't work. I think I also remember a situation where... And I'm not dredging up these stories incidentally just to like bitch about these people, because these are all things that happened mostly a long time ago. But I remember also, I think someone came into my chat on Twitch, and this was during the most recent election, and they were just going off about the election, and they were politely told, we're not talking about politics here, I provide a distraction from the misery of real life, I don't want to talk about politics. They did not listen, so they were banned. I can't remember if it was actually specifically me that banned them or one of my mods, but either way they had my blessing if it was a mod. And after the stream, I check Twitter usually after I finish streaming, and lo and behold, not only had that person then complained about me while also tagging me on Twitter, they created a hashtag specifically about them being banned on my Twitch channel. Neglecting to mention the reason why they were, incidentally. That's the important part, because they have to be the victim, because that way they get more attention. But it's like, what do you do in that situation? What do you do? Do you want to really mention politics on Twitter? Do you have any idea what that's like? I think in that situation, I just chose, like, this person is clearly out of their mind. I really don't even want to try and rationally argue my point, because there's no rationality involved. So in that situation, I felt like the best thing to do was just ignore. But let's just say that there was a bunch of other friends of theirs that were also there at the time, and they join in with the, hey look, this person doesn't agree with free speech, he doesn't let me talk about politics in his Twitch chat. He's terrible. Say that started spreading with that hashtag and getting around. That can have a negative effect on your brand. So I guess I'm saying is, even if you don't care about your brand, even if you don't bother to have one, you might get one created for you whether you like it or not. Used in negative ways as well. So I guess to counteract that, that's another reason why you should actually try and go out of your way to create a good one. I'm trying to think if there's any other situations like that I can think of. Well, as a result of being popular in the Overwatch circle for a little while, there's a lot of people who stole my name as their battle tags. So every so often I get approached by people who are saying, wow, you're like the most toxic Overwatch player I've ever seen, I've got screenshotted proof, etc. I barely play Overwatch at all these days. I never talk in public chat. They've obviously ran into someone who just took my name. Well, it's not really my name either, you know what I mean. They opted to use the same name as me because they want people to recognise my name and they can pretend they're me to make it feel like somebody loves them. No, you know what I mean. But either way, I still to this day get messages like that every so often. And apparently the people who stole my name were assholes. Who'd have guessed it? But that obviously has a negative connotation as well, because they're not going to believe if I say, hey, I had one the other week there actually, when the Uprising event started on Overwatch. had someone come into the chat and declare, "Wow, you're the most toxic player. I have video proof of you talking shit and horrible things in chat." And I calmly explained, "Hey, random asshole, this is the first time I've played Overwatch in 2 weeks, so that wasn't me you're talking about." They didn't listen. They didn't. They chose to not understand or just didn't understand. It's like, there's only so much you can do. But these are all things that, I mean, if you get typed to any kind of size on YouTube, it's part of the stress that people don't believe exists if you do this for a living. Worrying about that kind of thing. Like, even if you have good intentions, even if you're a good person, an asshole might just try and ruin your day. Ruining your day isn't as bad as ruining your brand, though, because the brand can affect you much longer, and I guess that's why big companies care so much. Oh, I thought I still had that heart. I forgot I used it. So maybe they're not in the wrong to, like, overcompensate if one person complains about certain something. I wish that everybody could take the stance of, like, not caring if people get offended. Because being offended is just a word. It doesn't mean anything. And anyone can be offended by anything. I'm offended if you use the word lemon in a sentence with more than 4 words. That offends me. So when I see some supermarket use lemon in a sentence of more than 4 words, I'm going to say that they're racist. And they're going to change it for me. That sounds ridiculous, but honestly that isn't too far away from the kind of thing that actually happens. Like there was a big hoo-ha about I think Canada has them as well, but the cooperative stores, they're like general grocers. They did an advertising campaign for Easter that said like, reward your daughter for helping you do the washing. Oh, well, with a lovely designer Easter egg. And people said, hey, that's a little bit sexist. Who says the daughter has to help the mother with the cleaning? They're not wrong. Just to point that out, they're not wrong. It is a little bit sexist that they said that. They assumed that sons wouldn't want to do that with their mothers. Or that the mother themselves was doing the cleaning as opposed to the father. Maybe the father's a stay-at-home husband. They were technically in the wrong. But to go out of their way, like, or rather people went out of their way to kind of point at this and say, wow, you're big racists, or sorry, you're big sexists. That's not the case. Did they write a sexist thing? Oh, come on! Did they write a sexist thing? Yes, they did. Does that mean they're gigantic sexists? No, they're just idiots. They didn't think it through when they did it. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. That is a saying that the internet should listen to more often. There's another saying in UK politics, actually. Unfortunately, I can't remember it offhand now. Something like culpability, not conspiracy. It's something like that. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't remember it. It's essentially saying the same thing. It's like everybody's quick to say, oh, conspiracy, conspiracy, government conspiracy, when really it's just someone being a dumbass. But sadly, again, that's another thing. If you are a brand, either you work for a brand, you are a brand, you've created one, you're advertising on behalf of one. This is all bullshit you have to worry about, unfortunately. And people will often get the wrong end of the stick. Sometimes on purpose. In fact, most times on purpose. I refuse to believe people are that dumb. Although the internet tries to prove me wrong every day. Also, I love regular shotgun. Just to briefly talk about the run, although I think I'm actually losing my voice from being so passionate about talking about brand and all these stories that are coming to mind of my brand being tarnished by assholes. It does matter. I kind of wish it didn't, but it does. And I guess that's a nice way to end it. So both my chests on this floor exploded, so that's fun. I'm still going to buy both keys because we're fine for money and I want to know what's in here. Yes, for the rest of the video, let's just go back to talking about the run. Yeah, sure, roll the bones, who cares? Deblanked and reloaded, so it took a blank and gave me ammo back. Oh wait, it increased my maximum ammo actually, I think. Alright, we're good to go. I always worry when I finish one. I know I haven't been using Hyperlight either, but it doesn't really matter. I always worry when I finish one of these Inside Baseball episodes, like, was I coherent? Was I coherent enough? It's all off the top of the head, so I know it's not as coherent as it could be. But did I at least make sense? And I always worry about that when I'm done. I hope at least there was something useful you could use in here. This isn't actually a good weapon for kill pillars, but oh well. It's still probably better than the... Oh, actually, maybe it is. Better than the sling. I don't know which one is the most wounded, and I can't stop to look at the health bar because I'm dodging. The genies stay built up on them even if I am hitting other ones, so there is that. Two of them are almost dead, I just got to work out which two it is. That one, I guess. Oh, that was already dead. Oh, you! That's the one. You can actually hit him before he fully lands. Ammo, please. No ammo. And a terrible gun. Was there ammo for sale or did I buy it? No, I didn't buy it. I'll take that, please. Yeah, allergies plus talking a lot passionately apparently just wrecks my voice today. Thanks, hay fever. Actually, let's use the... Oh, we'll just use the Jora to try and speed this up, although it's at half capacity now, thanks to that increase. Don't mind if I do. It isn't just worry that I didn't come across coherently in these Inside Baseball episodes, it's that the genuinely the purpose of these is to try and offer advice. Like, free advice, so, you know, maybe it's worth what you paid for it, but genuinely trying to offer something that's helpful. So if you took anything from this one or any of the other ones, then I'm glad. That's the whole point. Oh yeah, we fought a lot of gold skeletons, haven't we? That's coming off of the current Freifel target then. Must remember if another heart drops, I can stick it in the damn spacebar item. Ammo too, if I need to. Ah! Oh, there we go. Look at that. A little bit of ammo in the box. That's adorable. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'd very much enjoy flipping one of these tables for a damage up. I remembered I had Table Tech Rage again. Kinda. Oh. Ooh, don't like this. Yeah, I saw you appear behind me, you little bastard. Uh-oh. 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 It's getting worse. It's getting worse! Ah, that was inevitable. I'm surprised it took as long as it did, actually. This room is terrible. Holy hell. Alright, it's just you left. That's fine. Where's Dragon likely to be? North, probably. Fortunately, the Jolter is going to run out of ammo soon. Gotcha. Go on, damage up. Thank you. We're about to run out of ammo, though. Ah, this is the forge, and she doesn't even have ammo for sale? I mean, I guess I might be able to afford Alpha Bullet if we push on a little bit. There's an outside shot. Huntsman ends up giving you a lot of jammed enemies. It's not just a melee weapon, it's only got a little axe on it. Oh. Trust in regular shotgun and it shall trust in you. Although, is that my best option now? The Hyperlight Drifter gun might be. There's an item room. No, this probably is my best. Oh, maybe the Huntsman does more damage. I'm not sure. Oh, no. That's close. Thank you for that. Oh. Did I get discarded there? I'm sure the game, like... Hang on, let me just... No, I didn't get discarded. It was like it flickered a little bit, which led me to believe I got an alert or maybe a Skype message or something, but I didn't hear Skype. Two-shot on those is nice. God, I love regular shotgun. It's a satisfying thing to use. Travelator. Get in the pit. Get in the pit. You don't get in the pit, you get shot to death. We done? No, we're not done. You call that a shotgun? This is a shotgun. I don't think this is leading to Dragon. I think this is just leading to the item room. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what it was? It was Discord crapping out because it's lost connection to it. I wonder if I've lost internet. Hang on a minute. Oh, I have. That's what the flicker was. I've lost internet. Huh. I don't know why, but I have. I guess I'll have to go look into that once I finish this run. Ghostbuster gun is fine. Don't really need it because we have the genie, but still fine. Dragon's this way. Wubba lubba dub dub is the message as well on Discord trying to reconnect. Very fitting. You ain't gonna get back on if my internet's off. I don't think we're going to get enough for Alpha Bullet. It was, what, like 144? Yeah, no way. And that's with doing most of the floor, if not all of it. Still. Careful now. Oh hey, I must be back on because I can see Discord again in the corner of my eye. Pepper says sleep is for the weak. Probably talking to Cart if I had to guess. Oh, I'm running out of regular shotgun ammo. Oh, I thought that corner was going to protect me, but apparently it didn't. Oh wait, that's right, I have ammo with me in my jar, I keep forgetting. But that's not going to matter because we found Dragon. Ghostbuster gun for phase 2, lamp for phase 1, I guess? It's just doing standard damage, so it's going to take a little while. Although thanks to getting max ammo up, it's doing fine. It's actually quite a significant increase. I get hit there. Well, I got hit there for sure, but I think I got hit before as well. Get out of here with double skeleton faces. Who do you think you are? Wonder if your placement on the battlefield has any influence on the attacks he chooses to do. I know if you fly to the side of him, it forces a bunch of bullets to come down from the sky. Phase 2, please. Well, other than the double skulls, we actually got very lucky with the attacks he chose to do that time. I don't know if the genie gun does... Actually, the hyperlight drifter gun could do more. We're point blank, so I don't think missing should be an issue. It is a very powerful gun. Ooh, almost, almost. Also, look at that. It actually has increased the capacity to 27, but because I have no means to generate new ammo for it, thanks to it still only having the same clip size, I can't get any more. Yeah, it's a powerful gun. Oops, someone's Be Happy Guy has suggested another song for the pub playlist that I made. I'd press on it to see what it is, but it'd autoplay, so I can't. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Inside Baseball episode. I hope you at least heard a few things that may or may not have been useful going forwards. It turned out to be a good run. It was actually a lot easier than the run we did before this. And we had better passives on the run before, but we had better guns on this one, so I guess that's the deciding factor. Boom. For the record, I said boom there, not boop. Anyway, I'm still going to go now and look into why I lost connection at all, just in case something's up, because I need to get that handled before the stream tonight. So let's take a look at the end screen of what we had that run. Not too bad at all. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Ta-ta for now.